Hello, welcome to Olive Press TV. My name's Jack Torber, alongside Robert Firth, and we're going to run through last week's stories, the biggest ones. Obviously, being Franco, being reburied next to his family in Madrid. He got taken by helicopter.
Yes, it was taken by helicopter yesterday from the Valley of Fallen, which is on the outskirts of Madrid, about an hour away in the countryside, and taken to a private burial site in Madrid. This has been a long-running saga. I think Pedro Sanchez, the Spanish Prime Minister, initially said that he wanted to move Franco in 2017, and it's been a 2-year fight, which culminated in a Supreme Court case a few months ago, about a month ago I think.
It's a joyous day for Spain, I suppose.
But it's also been quite a contested decision. There was a poll in El Mundo which said that about just under half of Spaniards were against the decision to exhume Franco.
Obviously very big news for Spain, but for us the biggest news we've had is this, is our splash on Tuesday. The Big Chief, which Robert did, is a con man dressed as a Native American who went to the Costa del Sol from the US, who's been convicted for fraud before.
Yeah, so he's been convicted twice for fraud in the USA, and then has moved to Spain sometime about 10 years ago, and all seemed fine until he's got into a bit of a dispute with over some objects he's allegedly stolen. It's not gone, the court hasn't made a decision on this yet, but that sort of unleashed sort of a Pandora's box, and now there's all sorts of revelations have come out about him. So the fact that in America he had 2 fraud scandals. Since we've published that article, we've had a few more people come forward with information, so it's definitely a developing story. It kind of reminds me a bit of the Nadine story from last week, Jack. The fact that you have one allegation and then it suddenly you publish it and then
it opens up, and you get so many people ringing up and contacting you. With regards to Nadine, it's been pretty good news actually, because a lot of the people which she was holding the money for have now been paid. So again, kind of just go to show that what we do does make a bit of a difference. Moving on, and we've got the story I did about squatters. We ran a piece in this last issue.
What was the piece about last issue?
Last issue, there's an epidemic of squatters in Ceres, and basically the residents there are just like in fear of their lives basically. And so we looked into it further, and we spoke to a few lawyers, etc. And we found that what squatters are doing now, instead of invading residential homes, they're using bank-owned properties, because the bank-owned properties, obviously no one's in it, and the laws are much more flexible, and so they're able to stay there much more at ease. There's like almost like a search engine where, as a squatter, you can actually go on it, find a home in an area, work out which one isn't occupied, and just go and break in basically. Moving on to our back page stuff, so obviously you've got the big stories there, but here we have more interesting, lewd stories.
Lewd, yeah.
I mean, the one that sticks out to me is the Kama Sutra story.
This was a couple that were caught getting it on in a car near Castillo, and they obviously went to court because they were causing an obstruction.
They're driving in the wrong lane as well.
Yeah,
I'd imagine you lose a lot of concentration. So.
I can't imagine it myself. I'm not sure how it's definitely a good example of multitasking. But yeah, they've been banned from driving for 2 years and slapped with a 2-year suspended sentence. I think it's just the embarrassment mainly, which is probably the worst thing about it, rather than the 2-year driving ban. I don't know what you think.
Well, yeah, I suppose. I mean, it was in daylight on an open road, a toll road, which aren't as congested, I suppose. Maybe they thought they'd get away with it, but they were caught in the act and sentenced and banned for 2 years. Maybe it was worth it. Maybe it was really good. The number one story this issue is Brexit. I know it's boring for a lot of people, but I think there's no doubt it is the most important story that we've faced here as expats for the last 3 years, and probably Britain's faced this century. It's something that we've got to get right, and clearly that's why it's taking so long to sort out. Well, my opinion
the best and surest way to be sure we're doing the right thing is to get this to a second referendum, to a people's vote. And that's why we were on the border of Gibraltar and La Linea in a protest last weekend with our own banner, our own olive press banner supporting it, with approximately 3,000 people, 90% or 80 to 90% of which were Spanish. And we all thoroughly think that Brexit should really go away. And I have to say, in our own analysis, 75% of our readers are pro-Remain and would very much like to stay part of the European Union, and I am strongly in agreement with them.
We'll be back again in 2 weeks.
2 weeks time.
Once our live papers are out. Thanks for watching, and always get in touch if you have anything you want us to follow up. Cheers.